Welcome in all you beautiful, sexy, wonderful people, dogs and cats as well. How are you? What's up? CHGO Wrestling is now on your air. I am Big Dave with CHGO Bulls. This is the best special advocate ever. This is Greg Boysen. On the ones and twos is our guy, Sean Anderson. We got a lot to dig into and discuss right here, Greg.
We do.
I want to get into it, and I'm not going to waste your time other than to tell y'all thank y'all for watching, man. If you want more of this stuff, make sure you're liking, make sure you're sharing, and getting it out to the masses so we can keep continuing to bring you this awesomeness. Shout out to Sunnyside also as well. If
you like the show, share it on your social medias. Get your friends to watch and click. Those of you who want more episodes, those of you who want an audio-only feed, we need more of you, and all that will happen. So this is a two-way street here. We love you. Yeah. Show us some love, too.
Oh, it's very nicely said. It's the nicest it's going to get from this guy right here, too. So
pretty much,
job.
Yep.
Good job.
That's as good as it's going to
get. Man, let's get into it, man. Some interesting things happening. A faction is being formed in the WWE, sir. We saw what happened at WrestleMania with Paul Heyman finally turning on Roman Reigns and CM Punk and rolling with Seth Rollins. But now that faction is starting to be filled out because the next night we found out our guy, the big dog, the Steiner, Braun Breaker. I know he's a Braun Breaker, but he's a Steiner. Braun Breaker has joined the faction, man. How did you feel about Braun Breaker with Paul Heyman and Seth Rollins, sir?
Oh, I love it. It's a perfect fit. It's kind of right away people started saying, oh, it's like the new Evolution, where like Seth Rollins is now the Triple H, and then you get your Braun Breaker, who kind of like your Dave Bautista, so now you need your Randy Orton, your next, but I like it. It puts Braun Breaker into that next level where he was headed, but this accelerates that path. Like I said it a few weeks ago, I already predicted that one of the main events at WrestleMania is going to be Jacob Fatu and Braun Breaker, and making him a Paul Heyman guy just accelerates that path. It's great. He's not the best talker, so now you give him the best talker. Yes. Paul Heyman's promo with Jey Uso last Monday was phenomenal. And that whole, the turns into a surprise match, and then of course you knew it was going to get silly at the end, but no, it's a very good. Yeah, I mean the Jey Uso Seth Rollins match on Raw this week was better than the Jey Uso Gunther match at WrestleMania for many reasons. We'll get into that. But no, I like where it's going. It's a very good start. You definitely have. You needed something after completely dropping the ball with the John Cena angle, and still not explaining why the Travis effing Scott is showing up at WrestleMania and interfering in your main event.
Where are you, Rock?
All that, they totally dropped the ball on that. But just when just when you thought you're out, they pull you back in.
That's wrestling.
With some Seth Rollins, who is the best in the company.
That is it. Sean?
I mean, how are they following it up?
Here we go. Let's do it.
Because what is Jey Uso going to be doing on Saturday? He's fighting Logan Paul.
Your guy.
Yes.
My guy.
They just did that to upset you.
This is the pay-per-view matches, or this is pay-per-view card for me. This is Jey Uso versus Logan Paul. This is Gunther versus Pat McAfee. This is me drinking myself to sleep.
This is this is a throwaway pay-per-view. I mean, nothing. We're going to get into that card, but nothing's going to change here. This is just, hey, we're coming off of WrestleMania. We could sell out an arena in St. Louis.
Yeah,
I mean, this is your show. Don't let me derail this, but like,
your show too,
how do they get this match done, Jey Uso and Logan Paul? Because Jey Uso is likely walking out champion.
Sure,
still, I really would be surprised if
that would be a shock.
The belt on Logan Paul.
Shock.
You're not putting it on him a month after Jey Uso has his big WrestleMania moment.
Is it like just a dirty cheating way, and then just Logan Paul gets disqualified and Jey retains, and that way he doesn't lose?
I think Jey gets over clean.
Yeah, I think it'll be a clean victory.
If you put him over clean over Gunther, you're not going to have, like, Logan Paul is not at that point where people are ready for him to win big match. You gave him his big win at WrestleMania. Now you can go back to paying your dues.
Yeah. I completely agree with that. Like, I think it'll be a clean victory. Even after Raw went off the air, they still had something going on because Jey Uso was going around high-fiving the crowd, and then here comes the black hoodie. You know, you see the black hoodie. Something's happening, and Logan Paul punches him in the face and then runs away. So
if you want to get people to like Jey Uso more and be more excited about Jey Uso as champion, you have him beat Logan Paul.
Yeah, man. Yeah. I'm watching Jey Uso.
Because if he beats Logan Paul, Sean Anderson is buying a Yeet shirt.
Oh, man. Tomorrow. Are you kidding me? Yeet. He'll be yeeting
he's gonna
all
have
over this office.
He's going to have the sunglasses and everything.
Oh, man. He's going to be like, what's that music? Whose music is that? My God, it's Sean Anderson.
Yeah.
You're not yeeting?
I can't honestly truly put together my feelings on this. It's such a Sophie's choice in a way because, you know what? I would be happy to see Jey Uso beat Logan Paul because I don't want to see Logan Paul as the champion. But I think there's just so many different ways that they could have made this storyline interesting. I think Jey should have lost against Gunther. I think that's fairly obvious. I think Gunther could have just beaten him to like a pulp and just you should have showed Jey's courage and charisma. And then that way you have a Money in the Bank winner that I think is very obvious in Jey Uso. It's very easy to put the belt on him because you just have him take advantage of a situation. And I think he has a Ziggler-like moment, pop, and reaction where he finally gets that chance. And you could do that on a random Raw on Netflix. I just didn't like the way that the Gunther stuff has rolled out because now he's fighting a punter.
He feels the same way you do. I don't feel that way at all. I thought the way they did it for Jey Uso was definitely the right way to do it. If you're going to beat John Cena in the Royal Rumble, you're going to win your WrestleMania match.
No, I had, in the grand scheme of things, I had no problem with Jey Uso winning that match.
I have no problem with Jey Uso, though. I have no issue with Jey Uso holding a title.
He's earned it.
Beating Gunther.
He's earned it. I never had a problem with him beating Gunther. I just had a problem with the way they had him beat Gunther.
Now that we agree on.
That's different.
I agree with the tap.
They have totally neutered Gunther.
I agree, but that's why I disagree. But I agree with the choke out. I thought you and I, even in that moment, thought he should have did all four of the splashes and then take the pin.
Or if you're going to do the choke move, you keep him in there till he passes out.
Yeah, because you don't tapped out in 3 seconds.
Like Seth Rollins didn't tap out immediately.
He did not.
He was able to escape the move that Gunther tapped out to instantly.
But I thought if it was anybody who that wouldn't affect as far as going forward, it was going to be Gunther. That dude is a monster. And I thought putting him against Pat McAfee is a right thing to do as well. Because one, I know you want to see Pat McAfee get beat up. I know you want to see Pat McAfee.
No, I'd rather see an actual wrestler get a spot on this card.
That too.
Like I'd actually see them write a real story besides Gunther whines like a baby and beats up Michael Cole.
But dude, even the promo of watching Pat McAfee and Gunther was really good. Like even Pat McAfee on his side was solid, but Gunther, even in his comeback, that was excellent stuff to watch, man. He sold the crap out of me on that. I'm like, I want to watch this match because he might really hurt this guy. I don't know if he will or not. You know, obviously it's wrestling. You know what I mean? Yeah. But it's the way he sold that just lets me know that Gunther can really do no wrong. Like you can put him in any position, any way, he's still going to be Gunther, man.
I'd like to rewrite history. So let's just go back to Royal Rumble.
Okay.
Should Uso have won the Royal Rumble, or should have Cena won the Royal Rumble and gone into WrestleMania as a face? It would have been face versus face, but obviously they didn't really sell anything with the Travis Scott storyline.
Yeah.
Rock didn't show up.
Yeah.
You brought up the Elimination Chamber favor that he apparently did to the owner of the Sky Dome, showing up in the Elimination Chamber just to sell tickets. Like, do you feel like going back to the Royal Rumble, Jey Uso should have gotten that honor? Because again, you're saying if Uso wins the Royal Rumble, he should win that match.
Sure.
I don't disagree with that, but should he have even won the Royal Rumble? I mean, you had an easy way to just give John Cena the 17th title, and I think people would have bought it.
They would have, but then you have to look at what they have thought it was too predictable for him as well. You wanted to go in his final time with some kind of unpredictability. I don't even know if that's the word. But you wanted to go in there with some uncertainty, we'll use that word, about John Cena and how he's going to get to this title and how he's going to get to WrestleMania. Him winning the Royal Rumble, it's John Cena winning Royal Rumble. Yeah, John Cena won. Even when Charlotte walked in, people were pissed about that because as soon as Charlotte said she was in the Rumble, everybody was like, oh, she's winning. So, all right, fine, Charlotte's winning. They weren't excited. There was no excitement for it at all.
Yeah, right. They had to sell tickets, though. They booked the stadium for Elimination Chamber. And if John Cena's not in that match as his last chance to get in the main event of WrestleMania, are you able to sell out a stadium?
That's fair, but then again, you were able to get us interested in the Rock storyline, even if it was a desperation move to get the Rock at Elimination Chamber. Like, we talked about this being possibly one of the greatest heel turns of all time. Yeah. Do you feel that way now? I think it's pretty clear that it's Hogan. They turned that into the NWO. Yes. What did they turn this into? Orton versus Cena for the 15th time?
25.
I'm fine. I'm happy to see it. I'm not really like that, against Orton versus Cena, but still, like, we've seen it before, and I don't feel like they capitalized on the actual story.
It tells me that they didn't. It was a rush booking, that they didn't have the long-term commitments they needed to make it work, and now they screwed it up. Yeah. But they somehow recovered because of the Seth Rollins, Paul Heyman thing that was done so well. Yeah. I looking back on it, I almost would have swapped the main events so people leaving WrestleMania left on the high of the Paul Heyman, Seth Rollins, as opposed to that nonsense we saw on Sunday.
I agree. I agree with you 100%.
But they definitely recovered from that. We haven't seen Cody come back yet. You know, there'll be some excitement when that happens. But yeah, they totally dropped the ball with this John Cena thing. But there's still time for them to maybe make it make more sense and worth the while. But they better do it quickly.
Let me tie it back into the topic that we started with, as far as the faction. Obviously, there's going to be a third guy. All right. So who do you all think will be that third guy? Like, looking at it, mentioning Cody Rhodes, I started thinking about Cody Rhodes. And then just watching Sami Zayn, I started thinking about Sami Zayn.
I thought it was coming last night with Sami Zayn when he came out there. It still might be.
Still, yeah.
Because now we get I'm a good friend, I care about everybody, Sami Zayn. And I hate that version of Sami Zayn.
Everyone loves that version of Sami Zayn.
I like it when Sami Zayn's a jerk.
Yes.
He's better that way. And I love Sami Zayn.
Yeah. I like passionate Sami Zayn.
I just don't know if that works with the group, because then you have Seth Rollins and you have Sami Zayn. They kind of do the same thing. Okay. So it's kind of like building a hockey line, or a starting five in basketball. Sir. You don't want too many guys that do the same thing. They both have similar ring styles. They both can do a promo out of the park. Yeah. They both can get people to care. So I don't know if you kind of maybe need a little more of a wild card in there.
Well, and it's their ages too. I don't know if I necessarily agree with the comparisons to Evolution, because you don't really have that like old dude that's Flair. Obviously, Rollins would be Triple H, but I feel like Zayn, although he doesn't have
technically Heyman can be the Flair guy. Because Flair didn't do a lot of wrestling then. He was more.
He held the title. He held a tag belt. Yeah. And then with I feel like Zayn, he's obviously not at the same level that Rollins is at, but they're similar ages, but they'd fill out that Triple H role. The thing about Evolution was the fact that Batista was going to be the next big thing. Orton was going to be the next big thing. I'm not really against Breakker being the next big thing. I just think it would have to be someone younger. Yeah. And I don't know exactly who that
young guy is.
Well, there isn't a lot of young guys on that roster.
That's true.
I mean, you look at who's around. I mean, AJ Styles has got one foot out the door, you know, and good, he's going to go after the IC title.
Well, because even when you mention the younger guys, and I'm thinking of them like guys like Carmelo Hayes comes into my head, but like you just said, he kind of does the same thing that Seth Rollins does.
Here's a guy.
That's a really great
Here's a guy, and they've been teasing this Judgment Day breakup for way too long. Crap or get off.
So Dom Mysterio is in there?
But you make Dom Mysterio a Paul Heyman guy?
Oh, the heat. The fire. Yeah. All right.
That might work.
Is he good enough?
Or do you bring in one of the lady wrestlers, one of the women?
Do you put Becky in?
No.
You don't do the Becky Lynch?
I'm tired of her. We're going to get into that.
Yeah, we'll get into that.
No more Becky.
Yeah,
Stop giving Becky shit she doesn't deserve.
I'm unsure of the third man. Why don't you talk about Hogan Lynch now?
Yeah,
Becky Hogan?
Yeah, she took umbrage with that.
And she should. How dare you, first of all, Sean?
I should not besmirch an Irish wrestler like that. Sorry, Becky.
Oh, man. Yeah, Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair. And Greg, you brought up this topic, so I'll leave it to you to present what it is.
Well, here's my thing. Charlotte Flair gets a lot of hate online. Some of it justified, some of it not.
None of it justified. I'm joking.
People have legit reasons and people have illegitimate reasons to hate on Charlotte Flair.
Sure.
But part of the problem with Charlotte, that people have with Charlotte Flair, is that every time she goes away, she comes back, she's automatically back in the top. There's a reason for that. And why doesn't Becky Lynch get that same kind of hate? You're starting to see it a little more now, but why isn't she getting the same amount of hate for doing the same damn thing Charlotte did? She did it 2 years ago. She should have been hated the second they screwed over Bianca Belair. One of the biggest BS things I've ever seen. That was worse than the Kofi Kingston nonsense.
Oh, that's saying something.
And that was garbage
that's
too.
Saying something.
At least that was Brock Lesnar.
Yeah.
Like, that's a little believable. Becky Lynch coming in and winning in 11 seconds, crap.
Oh, Bianca Belair?
Yes, no. Crap. No. And then Becky Lynch gets Bayley, one of the most beloved stars, a woman who has done nothing but help put over the next generation of stars, worked her ass off. What about that week where she was literally on all 3 shows across the country, and you kick her off the card to put Becky Lynch, you immediately put a belt on her, and now you're going to give her the IC title, you put her in a top feud, and I get she has the reputation, she is one of the greatest of all time, but that was 6 years ago. Mm-hmm. This division, just like you can argue with Charlotte, has not only caught up to them, but some of them may have surpassed them because they're on the tail ends of their careers. Sure. So maybe they need to be put in roles like Bayley was in, where it looked like they were going to finally do with Becky and take somebody under the wing and help propel, and she still will with Tyra Valkyrie. You know, she is going to make her a better wrestler.
She's good.
But why doesn't she? My only thing is, why doesn't she get the same constant hate that Charlotte Flair is? Because they are doing the same damn thing with her as they do with Charlotte. I'm back. Give me everything.
You better preach in this place right now. You're preaching to the choir, sir. You know I feel the same way. Charlotte Flair is overly hated, and she thrives in that over hatred. I think, like, she's in her happy place when people are overly hating her. I'm not going to take anything away from Becky Lynch as far as a wrestler or on the mic. I
she's
think
one of the greatest of all time. The women's division would not be where it is today without her contributions.
It would not
exist. Broken nose, that whole run was phenomenal. But again, that was years ago. What have you done for me lately? Nope. That's what this is. This is a business.
That's what it's about. And obviously she's going to get more acclaim and put ahead of more people because of her name, because of what she did those 6 years ago. And because of when she came back, there was a young lady in the audience crying because she saw Becky Lynch. So those reasons, she'll definitely get put to the forefront. But where I'm in agreement with you on is when it happens to Charlotte this way, everybody's like, this is the worst thing in wrestling.
That's my point. Rhea Ripley was starting to get that too.
Oh, she's over. She's super over. Yeah,
but it's like, and I understand why Becky gets what she gets. And I'm not saying it's undeserved. I'm not crapping on Becky Lynch. No. My point is, why doesn't she get the same hate that Charlotte does? That's all.
I'm just trying to think of comparisons. I mean, maybe it's just because of your shirt. Is Macho Man a little bit too much of saying Bayley is a Macho Man-like figure? You can, again, if I'm going to call her Becky Hogan, I mean, that's the Hogan that's, pushing Macho Man down. But it also seems like Bayley is a little bit like a Rey Mysterio character, where he really never got that true respect as a champion, beloved by children, always put in that work, but was always just overlooked because of his, size and diminutive. Like, it does seem just unfair at some point. And I don't understand Becky lashing out for feeling that heat, because the heat's deserved.
Yeah, very much so.
Well, yeah, and I think that's part of the gimmick here. But like, and it's been hard to her promo last night was not good.
It was solid. I thought it was pretty solid.
Just how many times can you say garbage in 30 seconds?
Okay, that part I didn't like. I agree.
Yeah, I agree there. Once Valkyrie came out, it got better. But when it was on herself, like garbage. This, and then it was like, well, she's recycling. Not quite garbage. It's like, somebody get out here and save her, because this promo is garbage.
I agree with that part.
Once it was the two of them, it got a lot better.
When she started throwing out Sports Illustrated and stuff like that, I was like, oh yeah, this is what I'm talking about right here.
They should have started that with the two of them. Don't give Becky any more on her own. That was not good.
Like anything in wrestling, the ones who sell the most T-shirts, the ones who push the merchandise and those things forward, and are also good in the ring, are going to get the most acclaim and get an upping on the horse.
Right, and I understand. I understand all that.
It's just when it happens to Charlotte, everybody has a problem with it.
Right,
and all she does is blow you away with what she does on the mic and what she does in the ring. She produces time after time after time. And as you like to say, and I've adopted saying it all the time, she could wrestle a stick. You know what I'm saying? Yes. She could wrestle a broomstick. She could wrestle a pool cue and put it over and make it look amazing. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's just not the fairness is what we're talking about here of it. It's not the hate. We understand that, but the fairness of it. Like, they still were cheering Becky when she walked out.
If you're gonna hate Charlotte Flair for being, quote, given everything, you should hate Becky Lynch for the same reasons. That's my point. I'm
with you on this. Let's go quickly to some WWE. They released some wrestlers. Braun Strowman, Shayna Baszler, Dakota Kai, Kaden Carter, Katana Chance. Is that Gigi Dolan?
Yeah.
Cora Jade and Jakara Jackson.
Those were like the biggest names. There were a few more.
Yeah, definitely. But those are the names. Any name surprise you?
Well, my biggest takeaway from this is the WWE no longer cares about the women's tag team division. Because you've pretty much gutted that.
Yeah, getting rid of Jakara, that was a surprise. But go ahead.
I feel bad for Braun Strowman because this is the second time.
Yeah, it is.
I always find
there'll be another.
Oh yeah, I always find it funny that like these releases always come like 2 weeks after WrestleMania when you sit there and tell everybody you got to have Stone Cold almost kill a fan just to tell you that there's 65,000 people there, and like all you do is like look at how many people are here and this is a worldwide phenomenon and we're doing so great, but not you 16, you have to leave. I get it. It's a business. Yeah. Timing of those things are never good. Trust me, I understand more than anybody in this room right now. So I just always find it funny that it always happens right after me. But I feel bad for Braun Strowman because this is the second time he's been shown the door. Yeah. And to his credit, he could have easily made the jump to AEW and gone to their main competition, but he never did. He did a lot of indie work. He was probably told, hey, just stay in shape. We're going to bring you back. They'd bring him back, and you could tell he's slowing down. He's dealing with some bad knees. The bigs usually break down. But he still worked his ass off to help get Bronson Reed over, worked his ass off to help get Jacob Fatu over. All that hard work, and once again, you're not good enough to be at Mania, and now you can leave. I feel bad for him. If I was him, I lose Triple H's phone number. I probably won't.
I wouldn't. But personally, no.
Like,
there's some type of loyalty there with him. Yes, they definitely did him wrong. But there's some type of loyalty there that he has with WWE and some type of kinship that he has where he doesn't feel like he wants to leave. And you're right. Maybe there's something being told to him, like once these releases happen, like, hey, man, just stick around for a second. We'll bring you back in. Because WWE, loves the meaty man slapping meat. Like, that's a thing. They got to have it. So I think he'll come back. He'll be around for that. I hear your point and what you're saying for sure. But I think that he just feels a loyalty and a kinship to this organization. And even though
they don't have any loyalty to him.
Hey, man,
I get it. It happens. It happens.
Dakota Kai was interesting. Not surprising, but just interesting. Because they tried to give her a nice push. Had the Intercontinental title. She was a better wrestler than I remembered. You know what I mean? So coming back from that knee injury that she had, I thought she really did a really great job. And honestly, I thought she was solid, to be real. I'm not surprised that Shayna Baszler, we weren't seeing her at all.
She's never done anything for me. Yeah. Even like when they first brought her in and she was at the height of her career, like it did nothing for me.
Okay.
Like, I just never got into that whole shoot fighting. She had zero personality. Like
she needed a manager.
It did nothing for me.
I think Jakara Jackson, as to mention the tag team women's division, that for me was a surprise. Because they definitely gave her a push.
Yeah, it wasn't that long ago.
Not at all.
She was on SmackDown.
Yes, wrestling against Bianca and Naomi. So I thought that was going to be a thing. And I thought she was over a little bit in NXT as well. So that surprised me a little bit that they went with that. So, yeah, those were some of the cuts. The longer list, you can definitely go online and see more of them.
Sure. Yeah, the only one I was going to shout out is Cora Jade, just because she's from Chicago. I don't know if with them buying TNA, she's been wrestling in TNA. Now that she's been released, is she no longer able to wrestle on TNA? Does she have to sign a separate contract?
I think
that's now
TNA is still. I don't think WWE is officially like bought them outright like they did AAA.
Yeah.
I think they're more of like a partner to kind of give them money to keep them afloat and do some. So I think a TNA contract is completely separate than a WWE contract.
So I mean, maybe we'll continue to see her
maybe there
on TNA.
Let's look at this legendary Backlash card that's out.
Sean's favorite pay-per-view.
Oh, Sean, I can't wait.
Have you seen all the 4 matches?
Can't wait. John Cena, Randy Orton, 25 years in the making, even though they've wrestled a million times. This will be their last time going at it. Obviously, it'll be in St. Louis where Randy Orton is. I don't know if you knew that.
No, I know.
It'll be that last time.
Will it be the last one? They got some other pay-per-views to fill out.
That's true. That's true. It might be their last time pay-per-viewing in St. Louis. But, yeah, man, those guys. And honestly, Sean, I was curious to ask you this because more than Greg and I, you kind of grew up with Randy Orton and John Cena over those 25 years. Like, what do those guys kind of mean to you in their career, or do they mean anything at all to you?
I mean, honestly, they were WWE. I mean, they were Monday Night Raw from 2000 and when did Cena actually make the jump from SmackDown to Raw? What was that? 05?
The draft.
Yeah, that draft of 05. I mean, those two were Raw from 2005 to 2013. I didn't love it all the time, and there were definitely some better moments in those back and forths. I think when Edge and Randy Orton were teamed up on Rated RKO, and that was the foil with Cena. Like, that was a really good back and forth between the two of them. They have really good chemistry with one another, so I think it's going to be a real good professional match. Yeah. Is it going to be a 5-star match? Probably not, but it's a solid 3-star match that makes sense when you're looking at where it's at. Cena obviously is supposed to be a heel. They didn't put any story into that actual storyline, but he's supposed to be a heel. And then you have Randy in his hometown. Like, that should pay off in a fine, likely main event match.
Yeah, it'd be okay.
So, like, that's the one that I'm fine with. Like, those guys are. I just know they're going to do well against one another.
They've had some good promos leading up to it,
right?
And the history is there. So obviously, there's something to build on. You know what you're gonna get out of those two guys.
You saw what Punk and Cena were able to do in the Elimination Chamber, and I think Randy and Cena will be able to tap into that.
Oh, for sure. They've worked enough together that they're gonna make it. Like, I feel that the Cena Orton match will probably be a better match than the Cena Cody Rhodes match at WrestleMania, just because of the years of chemistry. Yes. These are two guys that I think, because they were at the top of the game for so long, people have taken for granted. People got sick of, oh, not this guy again. And now that they're at the tail end of their careers, they're excited to see it again because they know it might be the last time. Obviously, there's not going to be a title change here. There's no way you're going to do that. No. So it'll be interesting to see how they do this.
Maybe a disqualification setting up another pay-per-view.
Does Travis Scott come out again unexplained and help Cena win?
He will forever catch strays.
Yeah, but he will until you tell me what the F he's doing here.
He's a hardcore champion.
Give me a reason. I could buy that belt for $600 and walk around and kick people in the nuts.
I do know. I just thought of a match that I know Sean would love on this card: Travis Scott versus Logan Paul.
Oh well, actually,
that would be amazing.
Travis Scott's going to be in Qatar on May 16th, so I think he's busy.
Travis can travel.
Hey, it doesn't take.
Travis can travel.
It doesn't take 6 days to get from St. Louis to Qatar.
It does not. No, it does not.
That's what the WWE wants you to think. And it's going to blow your mind when you hear Fiend.
Let me move. Lyra Valkyria, Becky Lynch, Intercontinental title match. Who you guys think was winning that one?
I think it will be Becky, just because I think they're going to set up an actual back and forth.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it will be Becky to kind of legitimize that title a little more.
I'll stick with Lyra just because.
It'd be great for her to put her over one-on-one, but I don't think she's ready there yet. I think she loses it, and then you set up a longer feud, and then she wins it back at like Money in the Bank.
You do need some validity for that title, though, at some point.
Well, and I think too, I mean, just with the Irish connection, I think these are two people that you want when you're putting Lyra in a back and forth with somebody. You want to elevate this person, this young person. I think this is the person to do.
You got 2 nights of SummerSlam to fill this year. So you have Becky to win it, and then you build that over the next 4 months to SummerSlam, and then people would be excited when Balor wins it again.
Well, and I think people are usually looking for like that decisive win, and something that I've realized, I've been watching a lot of old pay-per-view reviews from Wrestling with Regret. Shout out to Brian Zane. A lot of like 90s like title finishes are just roll-ups. Like I wonder if Becky's just gonna honestly just get her into a corner, push her up, and then just flip over, roll up, 1, 2, 3, and then she escapes with the title, and that's it. You don't actually get like a true satisfying finish or a true satisfying title change here.
This match is definitely going to want the goal of this match is to have people wanting more of these two.
That's true. All right, the Shawn Anderson special, Gunther versus Pat McAfee. I say disqualification with some blood. And
destroy Pat McAfee.
I just feel it's going to be a destruction to Pat McAfee.
Pat McAfee chokes him out in 6 seconds.
Okay.
I will stop watching WWE if that happens.
Jacob Fatu.
CHGO Wrestling will be canceled.
Just wait until Pat McAfee wins Money in the Bank.
I'm gonna all of my WWE Roosevelts will be online cheap. I'll be done. I will be done.
Why is Greg online crying and selling shirts?
Done.
Jacob Fatu, Drew McIntyre, LA Knight, and Damian Priest in the fatal 4-way for the U.S. title.
It's a lot of guys in one match.
Man, that could be a really good one.
It's going to be a good match. Jacob Fatu is just destroyed. As he says, he's all gas, no brakes.
Yada what I mean.
If you're going to make him the indestructible beast that he is, he crushes these three dudes.
Yeah. I would hope so, but also I don't think you can really have him crush Drew. And I just don't care about this match, mainly because like, what's the inclusion of Damian Priest? He just lost to Drew McIntyre. Like pretty decisively. He should not be in this match. This is to give Damian Priest something to do.
Guess who's taking the pinfall in this match?
Absolutely. No,
he's there to take the pinfall. That's his job.
I just don't think you need to protect LA Knight that much to where if he takes the pin from Fatu or he takes, I don't think they're going to pin McIntyre, but I don't understand why Priest is in this match outside of taking the pin, I guess.
Yeah. All right. Dominic Mysterio, the legend, going against Penta for the IC title. What you got, Sean?
I would say Dirty Dom probably in a DQ way. I don't think he's going to pin him cleanly.
Oh, yeah, it's gonna be
I think he's probably going to try to, pull something from his dad, Eddie, and lie, cheat, and steal.
Dom's leaving with the title. I don't know necessarily if he's getting a 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
Penta might win by a disqualification. Something silly will happen. There's still every week, Finn Balor, does he like him? Does he not? You had the whole thing this week about go take care of AJ for me.
Yeah.
So, something silly will happen because I don't think you're going to have Penta lose 1, 2, 3 in the middle of the rings, but Dom leaves with the title.
Okay.
You're not taking
I agree.
You saw the reaction at WrestleMania, him winning. You're not taking the belt off of him 3 weeks later.
Well, and then also too, Penta now has this brand new entrance theme with Tool's guitarist.
Yes, it does.
This is a guy that's getting super promoted as well.
Absolutely.
What
Tiffany Stratton. I'm sorry.
Oh, is there an official one for Stratton? Because I only saw 4 matches.
Yeah, it's possible.
These are the likely matches to be added on SmackDown on Friday.
Because I think Tiffany, if they do it, I think it'll be a triple threat. I think it'll be Tiffany, Naomi, and Nia Jax. I like the run Naomi's on. I heard her recently on a podcast saying that, she doesn't have a lot of time left. So she's just trying to enjoy.
What are they doing with her though, man? Ooh, she looks a fright these days.
She does.
I get that's part of the point, but it's like, yikes.
But I like it. Daddy likes. It's all right. But that could be a possible match with Big Mama Drama Nia Jax back in the building.
What is the current plan for who Naomi faced at WrestleMania? And I cannot think of her name. Jade Cargill.
Yes.
Yeah, she's gotten involved in the.
They tag team. They had a tag team match.
Yeah, she's gotten involved in the Io Sky, with Roxanne Perez and Julia and the Rhea Ripley. So they're kind of teasing her getting into that title picture. So.
Yeah, is Bianca still a part of that?
We haven't heard from her.
Okay,
we haven't heard from Bianca
since WrestleMania.
Yeah, she's been chilling.
She's got that post WrestleMania vacation going on.
Yeah, she might be part of the Seth Rollins faction. Who knows? And another possible match. This is interesting, sir. Is the Io Sky, Rhea Ripley, Roxanne Perez, and is that Julia? I said Gulia. Shout out to me. So tell me about this. Why you feel that match could be?
Well, that's just the way they've Julia and Roxanne Perez have been showing up on Raw a lot lately, and
Julia with the braids, yes.
And they've been messing with Io Skies.
They have,
and Rhea Ripley's been coming out to help. So I think they're setting up to maybe have that match, which I do love the fact if those two matches are added, that 3 of your 7 matches are in the women's division.
Yes.
I'm all for it because right now I think the women's division has been better than the men's division.
You've said this several times. Yes.
I was literally just about to say, is Jey going to get the night off?
Sounds like it.
Sounds like it.
For a guy, he's going on against Logan Paul.
Logan Paul, baby. Logan Paul.
Yeah, I would be surprised if they took off the belt off Io, but then also, I mean, like maybe Rhea does something, devilish to get the title off of her, and then try to get the fans even more behind Io.
And we do have the Jey Uso Logan Paul.
Jey Uso Logan Paul.
We talked about that a lot lately.
Yeah,
anything going to happen with Seth and CM Punk? Do you think are they going to set that up for Backlash, or is that just future?
That sounds more like a SummerSlam type of build. But maybe. I mean, there's no way Seth is not getting involved somewhere.
Yeah.
Right.
And that Jey Uso Logan Paul, because he's got a history with Logan Paul.
Correct.
So
Correct.
I think he gets involved somehow.
And then is AJ and Balor, is that Backlash?
That's for Raw.
Yes.
The next night. Yeah.
He's been teasing he's coming after Dom, as you mentioned. So
they booked it that it will be AJ versus Finn at Raw.
Yeah. And shout out,
which is where that belongs.
Yes. Oh, man, it does. And shout out to Liv Morgan out shooting her movie, becoming a big old star. Definitely deserving.
You cut almost the entire tag division, but give the tag champs a vacation.
That's it.
They don't care. All right.
Thank y'all for watching, man. As we said at the beginning of the show, if you love us and you love what we're doing, make sure you like,
tell your friends,
and share, and get more eyes and ears on this beautiful thing that we do called CHGO Wrestling. Greg?
Hey, I'll reiterate it. The more love you give us, the more love we can send back. Get more eyeballs, and there'll be more episodes.
Shout out to everybody who enjoys it, man. We're going to keep on moving and keep on doing it. Until next time, that is our guy, Sean Anderson, special advocate, Greg Boysen. I am Big Dave. CHGO Wrestling, y'all. We'll see you next time. Peace.
We all silly like the mayor.